Good morning, everybody. It is meteorologist Aiden's weather forecast here, and welcome back to the update. This is going to be another early upload because I'm going to be going to Lake Lanier Islands with my friend most of the day, so I just thought I can do the upload before and maybe after. As you can tell, last we are going to be continuing to go through this fall and winter week tradition. We are now on August 5th now, so we are getting extremely close to the winter forecast here, guys, and we have a lot of new updates. The Enzo Outlook just updated earlier today. There aren't a whole lot of new updates, really. I thought it was going to update a lot more, but it's basically the same thing as last time, so I guess we're just going to have to wait as we get closer to change here. So, guys, be sure to like the video, so it lets me know that you guys like more videos like these. Also, be sure to be sure to hit the post notifications icon and subscribe. If you guys want to know all about fall, check out the videos earlier this week, because the first 3 days of this tradition I did fall, and now the next 4 days I'll be doing winter. So if you guys want to check that out, go check that out. So yeah, if you guys want to know if you will have the snowiest winter, stay tuned. So guys, as you can tell, we're going to be looking at the Enzo summary. If you go to the website, it shows you that it just updated August 5th, which is today, but there aren't really a whole lot of updates, really. According to this, it updated once a month, the second Thursday of each month. So if that's true, then I guess it hasn't updated yet, and I already checked the website, nothing new. So guys, as you can tell, we do have an El Nino advisory because an El Nino is present, a very, very weak El Nino here. It wouldn't be surprised if we have a neutral by next month here. It's only it's only a weak El Nino because we have the equatorial sea surface temperatures are above average across much of the Pacific Ocean. So we do have above average sea surface temperatures that are spreading out widespread across this Pacific. That's the only reason why we have a weak El Nino. But we're going to be looking at the sea surface temperature anomaly that just updated. So we're going to be looking at that new update. As you can tell here, the transition from an El Nino to an Enzo neutral is expected in the next month or two, with Enzo neutral most likely to continue through the northern hemisphere. So basically, we are most likely to see a neutral form within the next month or two, so right before the fall months begin, and it's likely to continue through the northern hemisphere for the fall and winter months. So it's looking like we can have a neutral for fall and winter. So that's what we're going to be that's what our forecasts are going to be based on. So now, for the people who do not know what an El Nino or La Nina is, we're going to be saying that a whole lot in the video. So before we get more into details, I want to make sure you guys actually know what it is. So an El Nino is characterized by a positive ONI which is greater than or equal to plus 0.5 Celsius. If you guys don't really understand what those numbers mean, you will see these numbers in the next slides later on in the video. So I want you guys to know exactly what these numbers mean before we show them to. So anything that goes from a plus 0.5 Celsius or above is a El Nino. And then La Nina is characterized by a negative ONI, so it's the opposite. Less, which is less than or equal to negative 0.5 Celsius. So again, if you're going to be seeing these numbers, and then in between plus 0.5 Celsius and negative 0.5 Celsius is a neutral. So I want you guys just to know the heads up exactly what those mean. Now we're going to be looking at the probability of the models of showing exactly what they believe. And these, the probabilities have not changed. I just looked right before I did the video. They have not changed. So again, not a lot of new updates. I'm kind of surprised. But we are going to be seeing a Enzo, so we're going to be reading up there what it says. Enzo neutral is favored to emerge in the next season and then to become continued through the northern hemisphere fall and winter 2019 and 2020. So basically, we basically already read this, but it's going to be, this one's more detailed. So it is favored to emerge, so become from an El Nino emerge to a neutral within the next season, which is fall, and then very likely to continue through the northern hemisphere fall and winter 2019-2020. So guys, for the people who don't know exactly what we're going to be looking at here, we're going to be looking at the probability. So if not a lot of people know what probability means, it's the chance of something happening, or a chance, or the percent, or the likely of an event occurring. So like 100% chance, 50% chance, all those are probabilities of something occurring. So we're going to be looking at the models, and we're going to be looking basically what the probability of El Nino neutral and La Nina is based on them. So here we have three colors. The blue is for La Nina probability, the gray is for neutral, and the red is for El Nino probability. So as you can tell, here we have the 100% chance, 50% chance, and then down there's the 0% chance. So as you can tell, for every single model, so the JJA, JAS, all those, that the La Nina is always the lowest probability of occurring. We only have a highest percent at 15%, which is not incredibly high there. Now we look at the red, so that's El Nino probability. As you can tell, the red is always in second place for the biggest chance of occurring. As you can tell, the biggest chance, about a 47%. The JJA is showing the biggest probability of El Nino occurring, but most of the models do show in between 25% to 35%, which is still not incredibly low. And now we'll be looking at the last thing, which is gray, which is for neutral. And as you can tell, the gray bar is always higher than the red and blue. So that's every single model is favoring a neutral to occur. So that's why we are basically saying it's going to be neutral this winter. So the highest probability is actually a 60%, which is not incredibly low, or it's still pretty high though. So now we're going to be looking at the model outlook. So these are the numbers I was talking about here. So here's 0, 0.5, negative 0.5. So anything above this is El Nino. Anything above this or below this is La Nina. So that's exactly why I was telling you guys those numbers. Here we have all the models here. So basically what we're looking at here is what the models are showing emerging within the next season. So they're showing exactly what's going to happen by using the models. So anything... Let me try to draw a good here. Let me actually use the black, because the black might be a bit better. So I'm going to be drawing a line right here. Try to make it as good as I can. So this is the 0.5. So if you look at this line, this is the 0.5. So if anything above this is a El Nino. And as you can tell, we actually have a whole lot of models. We actually have about 40% of the models here. Let me draw that, 40%, and then it looks like we have 60% for a neutral. So again, guys, this is a positive. Anything above this is a positive 0.9. Anything below this is a negative 0.9. So as you can tell, we are favoring either a weak El Nino or neutral, and then anything. Let me actually do this right for a second. So anything. Let me try to draw this line good as well. Anything in between these black lines is a neutral. So as you can tell, we actually have a lot of neutrals. So basically, let's go with 65% of the models are showing a neutral occurring. And then again, so 65%, and then we have the other 35% there are for El Nino. So that's basically all we're looking at here. So now we're going to be looking at the water analysis here. This has just updated now. And as you can tell, I don't know if you guys remember exactly what it looked like last time, but as you can tell, we are having a lot more colder waters starting to spread widespread across the Pacific. So that's exactly why some people were actually telling me how cold it's getting the Pacific. So again, these warm waters are not enough for these cold waters. Again, guys, so we're having a lot of widespread cold and a lot of widespread warmth. So that's exactly why basically it's going to very, very soon going to become a neutral. So basically, it is as we have more colder water start to spread widespread. That's what making it neutral. And yeah, again, we are having cold waters next to Hawaii. Very, very widespread cold waters here, and then a lot for the southern Pacific. So we have a lot of cold water for the eastern Pacific, and it's going to start to spread there for the western Pacific. Again, we are going to have some colder water for the western Pacific. Again, anything in the blue is a La Nina. Anything from the light orange to the dark red is a neutral El Nino, and then anything in the white is a neutral. So again, we are having some neutrals starting to become widespread. Guys, it's very unorganized. I know we have a lot of warm waters, but it's not enough. I know we have a lot of cold waters, but it's not enough. So we don't have anything that's enough yet at this point to say if it's El Nino or La Nina. So that's why we're going to be saying neutral within the next month or so. So now, a lot of you guys are thinking, what El Nino pattern brings to the United States, for those people who don't know. So what El Nino brings, it brings a subtropical jet stream through the south. So that brings, again, subtropical conditions there. And then we will have a low pressure system that brings in the opposite conditions for the northern part of the country. As you can tell, the subtropical jet stream does bring in some wet conditions for the southwest. So I know a lot of you guys have been complaining about how dry the west is and how it's going to be very dry for the winter. Again, if you guys really want wet conditions in the southwest, you really, really want to have a El Nino. But again, guys, La Nina isn't the best for you guys. Again, guys, it's not under my control, so you guys get mad if my forecast should be warm for you. It's just based on what that's not going to be an El Nino. And then that's also going to bring colder waters into the south central and the deep southeast, because it will be meeting into areas that have the colder air there. So again, it will bring, if you are in the deep south, not like the southeast, so like the Carolinas or Tennessee, Virginia. I mean deep south, so like if you're in Mississippi, southern Alabama, Louisiana, that's exactly where you want to have an El Nino, to have some cool air. Because again, the southeast can get snow either way, depending no matter what pattern it is, but the deep south won't get as much snow if it's not an El Nino. And then that brings in the opposite conditions for the opposite part of the United States. There will bring some warm conditions out there for the northern plains, and it will bring dry conditions for the Ohio Valley. So that's what an El Nino would bring. And now we're going to be quickly looking at what a La Nina would bring, because then again it's going to be the opposite. A La Nina will bring actually a high pressure system here that will bring in some polar jet, and that would actually bring in the opposite conditions. So it would bring in dry conditions from coast to coast for all the south. So from the southwest all the way to the southeast, we will be having dry conditions, so less precip, less snow there. Yeah, so that's basically what's going to bring, but it won't bring in the dry conditions for like the southeast, or for, I mean the north. When I mean southeast, I mean this area here, kind of like this, because this is more like the deep south right here. Don't know exactly if you guys agree, but I'm just going to go with like the northern southeast. They will actually just expecting some warm conditions out there, so in the red, and so will southern Texas. So that's exactly what a La Nina will bring, and then that would bring wet conditions out there for the Ohio Valley, and another wet conditions out there for the Pacific Northwest. And that's exactly why we can have a lot of snowfall for these areas when it's a La Nina, because the cool air meets with the wet, and that produces actually a lot of snow for these areas. So that's exactly why some areas in the Midwest favor La Nina. So now let's get to my forecast. So this is again what we've been waiting for. Who will have the snowiest winter, guys? Again, guys, this is not going to be 100% accurate. This is very far out. I'm going to have these same type of videos every single month, guys, so you guys get updated on my new forecast there. But again, guys, this is not going to be 100% accurate. Don't get mad if it's like that. Again, guys, this is just my forecast. Honestly, it can change a whole lot. So guys, as you can tell, I really don't have to draw with my epic pen a whole lot here, because you guys just, so basically, if you guys are wondering what to do here, just look for your area. If you live in the United States, look for your county, look for your city there, and see what color you're in. If you are in the light blue, which is stretching from all the way from northern Minnesota through the Montana area, through Colorado, parts of Texas to the North Carolina area, if you're in the light blue, you can have a snowy winter. Again, guys, this can completely change, and just because it means snowy doesn't mean you're going to get a whole lot of snow. Guys, I'm basing this forecast here on the averages. So if I say you're going to get the snowier winter, I mean you're going to get a snowier winter compared to your average. Doesn't mean you're going to get snowier conditions than other states. It means you're just going to have a lot more snow compared to your average. That's what I mean, guys. Again, I don't think New York will get more snow than Minnesota. Like that's kind of really hard to do. So again, if you're in the light blue, you can have a snowy winter. So from the deep south there through the northern plains. Now for my second shade, which is the dark blue, that's a snowier winter, so snowier than the light blue, for average. So that's going to be stretching through all the way through the New England area. So if you live in the New England area, down the mid-Atlantic coast, that's going to bring in some snowier conditions out here for the southeast, North Georgia, Carolinas, Appalachian Mountains there. And then that would bring a lot more snowier conditions for the central plains, and for the Midwest. Again, guys, the Midwest will be seeing the coldest winter without a doubt. In some areas in the Midwest, it might actually get a snowiest. So, guys, for those people who want to know who will have the snowiest winter, here it is. If you are in the pink, I know there's some other spotches with blue. If you're like in one of those little spotches, you're in the pink. Again, it's not perfect. I like to do these late at night. So like right here, these little spotches, that's actually supposed to be pink. So if you're in the pink, you will be seeing the snowiest winter compared to your average. So that means it can be way above average based on what we're looking at. So if you live in some parts of New England, so like western Connecticut and Massachusetts there, through New York area, through the mid-Atlantic, and all the way to the Midwest. So for Iowa and Chicago and the Ohio Valley, I think you can be above average snowfall by far. I think we have a lot more lake effect snow out here. Let me just draw this. I think we can have a lot more lake effect snow. Let me switch colors because a lot more lake effect snow. Oh my gosh, I can't change this color. Okay, a lot of lake effect snow here and a lot of nor'easters that can bring a lot of snow from the north east. Now, for the orange, you can have less snow. Not really a whole lot less snow. You're just gonna have some less snow there for the dry conditions and warm conditions. So if you're in the orange, you're gonna have less snow. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,400, guys. We're slowing down a little bit on subscriber count, but that's okay, guys. But if you like the video, be sure to like it and subscribe. Bye, guys.